Hey, I'm Rob for JTRpodcast.com, and this is Game vs Game, where I look at two games that share some form of common link and see which one's best. Then you can go to the comments and let me know which one you prefer. This time it's Lang vs Lang, it's Rising Sun versus Blood Rage. These are both by CMON, both by Eric Lang, both dudes on a map game with cool minis. I don't need to explain why I'm comparing these two, do I?
Game overview.
In Rising Sun, you control a clan around feudal Japan, control monsters and worship at temples to gain the favour of the gods. Use honour, negotiation and betrayal to fight for regions and score the most points to win. Plays in 90 to 120 minutes, 3 to 6 players, and is ranked 50 on BoardGameGeek. In Blood Rage, you control a Viking clan facing Ragnarok, control monsters and use gift from the gods to improve the clan and use the strength and skill in combat to fight for regions or go to Valhalla. Gain the most victory points to win. It plays in 60 to 90 minutes, 2 to 5 players, and is 28 on BoardGameGeek.
Theme.
So both of these games are fantastical and far from grounded in reality, so it's the one that gives the best interpretation of this that's going to win the point. Rising Sun is based on honour, negotiation and alliances. You're trying to manipulate yourself into position to win the upcoming battles. Blood Rage is based on invading, pillaging and quests. You're trying to brute force yourself into a position to win battles. To be honest, both are very similar, so I'm calling this a tie. Rising Sun 1, Blood Rage 1.
Setup and rulebook.
Again, very similar with two differences for me. The Blood Rage rulebook is slightly better, and setting up those decks of cards for Rising Sun is a mild frustration for me, so I'm giving this to Blood Rage. Rising Sun 1, Blood Rage 2.
Components and artwork.
Once more, very similar. The components are obviously a tie as they're both amazing. The plastic and the little touches of the Kickstarter extras make these games pop. They're great. The minis are fantastic and pull people in from other tables to come and have a look. The card quality is as bad for each game. Sleeves are probably required, especially Blood Rage where the cards are shuffled and handed round the table. The boards are nice and easy to read, you can see the regions on each very clearly. The artwork is basically dark versus light, and I like me some light, so even though it's the same artist, the Rising Sun artwork is more appealing to me, so point to Rising Sun. That's Rising Sun 2, Blood Rage 2.
Ease of teaching and accessibility.
Blood Rage is easy to teach. Everything you do makes sense in the context of the game. The actions are straightforward, the player boards make sense, even if breaking the rule about the amount of figures you're allowed on the board is easily done by mistake. The problem are the cards. It's closed information, and even if you teach what each card does, it can be a bit confusing to players who haven't played before. This hinders accessibility a bit, but not much. Rising Sun is a slightly more complex game with more things going on, but the only hidden information is the 4 political mandates that the player will have drawn. But there are only 5, and they're all on this handy card in front of you. So I got to give a point to Rising Sun. That's Rising Sun 3, Blood Rage 2.
Gameplay and replayability.
Now Blood Rage is decent, but only with the full 5 players. I do not like the game at all with 3, and even though I've played it quite a few times, I don't think I've ever played it with 4 players. The game is really difficult with all the restrictions, but it's not a frustrating restriction. It gives you something to work at to get more rage or minis on the board. The drafting and card play is good fun, and I'd rather each clan had a personality like in its daddy game, Chaos in the Old World. Drafting feels a bit lazy. Sorry. Having said that, the different upgrades and control of different monsters game to game is a lot of fun. I think it does improve replayability somewhat. But I've had a few games ruled by Wolfman and Fenrir, as well as the Loki's dragons, fire dragons or eternal dragons combined with Frigga's domain combo. Shame. In Rising Sun you never really feel out of the game, turns are really quick, and if you happen to be in an alliance with the active player, you get to do a thing. I feel the first couple of rounds are pretty dull. The board is much bigger than the amount of competition at the beginning of the game. It's interesting manipulating and bargaining your way into position to try and win the war tokens. The action selection is fun, and each action will give you something, even if the perfect action is not available to you. The alliance rule is really great too. It's what made me back the game on Kickstarter, and it works really well. The season cards are great and make for massive variations in your game. Controlling the monsters, like in Blood Rage, is very fun. But I don't like that the game basically boils down to set collection of tokens that weren't even upgraded in the Kickstarter. Still, good game. So I'm giving this one worth 2 points to Rising Sun. That's Rising Sun 5, Blood Rage 2. Who wins for you? Let me know in the comments below. Remember to like, share and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at JTR Podcast to find the blog and the podcast at jtrpodcast.com. I've been Rob, this has been Game vs Game, and I'll see you soon.